take action. When they see a problem, they don't wait and say, you fix it, you fix it. They say, you know what, let me roll up my sleeves.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. She started a magazine for the colored community to raise awareness of the good things that are happening. I just think it's awesome.
To you and a warm welcome to Visionaries. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, my mom used to say that if something bothers you, it means you are the one who's supposed to fix it. Our guest today was troubled by the apparent state of helplessness in the colored community, and so she took it upon herself to do something about it. I'm joined by Fatima Abdool. She is an actress, she is a TV producer, as well as an activist, and also the editor of a magazine. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Yaya.
My goodness, I felt like I counted so many things in my hand of what you actually do, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. I want to know about the beginning. You were born in Northwest?
I was born in Taung.
Yeah.
Then it was Northern Cape. Now it's Northwest. And yeah, I grew up there, a little girl with my granny. My granny is from De Aar. That is now deep Northern Cape.
Sure.
And she's the Afrikaans lady. That's where I picked up my Afrikaans. But my family is actually Xhosa and Tswana. So I grew up with my Xhosa and Tswana cousins speaking Afrikaans. And it was just a very carefree life. I still have memories of my granny singing for me, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and I could look at the stars. My friends were the cat and the dog and the chickens and a few sheep, and yeah. And I used to, my first 6 years, shoes was not my thing because I didn't need shoes. I was just, you know, enjoying my life.
It sounds blissful.
Absolutely.
Tell me about your move then to Visionaries in Pretoria.
See, my mum was divorced from my dad, but she was also studying. She was studying to become a nurse. So that's the reason why I stayed with my granny. So she would study in Durban, come back now and then, visit me and so on. And then she qualified and she took her daughter to Visionaries because that's where she was going to settle in Pretoria. It was I suckled a little bit.
I can imagine. A bit of a culture shock, eh?
Absolutely.
There you had to wear shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The spaces between the houses were very, there was no space. So I come from a huge yard and the toilet is over there and the house is here. And then suddenly I'm in a scenario where the neighbor, it's those houses that are connected to each other.
Yes,
so your neighbor, you can hear your neighbor, and next door is a yard and there's a street and there's people around you. So it was, I really struggled, and yeah, suddenly I had to wear shoes. My feet were burning.
And you were a little farm girl who was carefree and now, you know, very restricted and crowded as well.
Oh, very crowded. I still have a problem with crowds and small spaces because I was used to it for the first 6 to 7 years of my life. Remember, I grew up with only my granny and my cousins. Now and then I could play with my cousins, but now here, there's children every day and I have to play with them every day. I don't know how to play games because I don't understand the concept of games and why should you win and all of that. Because die plaasmeisie is nog daar.
Oh, nee, man. And then tell me about school. How did you adjust?
School was quite interesting. Firstly, I didn't like the fact that I have to wear the same dress like all the other children and the same shoes and look like them and so on. But I adjusted because a child can adjust very quickly. So the first school that I attended was a Catholic school. So my teachers were nuns.
Oh, wow.
Yes. They taught me how to write and to read. I know exactly how you have to form your letters, you know,
cursive.
Yes.
Yes.
And they were very soft spoken, except one nun, she was a bit tough. But that so the transition from farm girl to school was a bit soft. And then we moved back to a place called Pampierstad. And there I went to school in Hartswater and then came back again to Visionaries. And I went to a primary school called Nantes Primair, which is the best primary school in Visionaries. Because, you know, you feel like that of where you went to school.
Especially if you enjoy it.
Yeah, my friends wouldn't agree with me because they went to the other schools, Jacaranda, PS4E and so on.
So tell me how you then make that transition into acting. What happened between school and the big breaks that you received?
Well, I did I went through this, the most common, they call it a township girl journey, you know. You finish school, still feeling like the odd one out, because I continued with my acting at school. There was a teacher who wrote plays, and I would play, you know, act in the plays and so on. The only accolade I ever received was the accolade of Best Actress at school. And I was the only one that received it, and I don't even think there was an award like that after.
Thereafter, yeah.
So after school, I fell pregnant when I was 20 years old. Did what the grown-ups told me to do, get married. And I was married for 12 years. And when I turned 32, something just happened in my mind where I realized that I can't be in this marriage because it wasn't an ideal marriage. And I had my 2 children already. And we split up. And right after that, I went online. I saw an agent's name. And I called her. And I very boldly told her, hi, my name is Fatima Abdool, and I can act.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, okay, come, let's see what you can do. And I went for auditions. I read a bit and did some acting in front of her. And she sent me for a few castings, and I actually got the role.
My goodness. So you've been in TV productions, you've been on movies, you've been on a series. What has that been like? You know, at the age of 32, a lot of people would think if you're not famous but in your 20s, you know, by 20-something, you're not going to make it. But there you were, you know, living your dream. What was that like?
It was awesome, but I actually missed a huge part of my development. For 8 years, I was on radio. I was a radio presenter on Radio Pulpit. That's how I got exposed to a bit of media, and my what you call it,
confidence.
Increased and so on. So the transition to television wasn't that tough. So yeah, going into series. And
I love it, and you can see how confident you are in that picture there. I'm like, va va voom, yes, girl.
That's me being silly.
I love it, because then you know you could go into any casting and say, here's what I have to offer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I got. You see what my problem is. If I have to return or make a phone call, I delay until it's too late. So after those little roles that I got, I actually felt, okay, it's fine. I don't have to do this anymore. I know I've proven to myself that I can get roles and so on. And then my agent calls me and says, listen, I've got a role. You've got to go for casting. And then I landed this role where I played a matron for 5 years. And after that, I really felt, okay, now I'm really done. Because my heart was always in the community, what's happening in my community. There was always a drama group or a group of children that I was working with, and my concern was there mostly.
I want to find out what you did with that concern, because I think a lot of people can attest to the fact that, you know, once you've climbed one mountain, you realize that there are many more mountains to climb. What are those mountains for you? We'll find out in just a moment. So make sure that you stay right where you are. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Let's continue our conversation with Fatima Abdool. She is an actress, she's a TV producer, she's an activist, and a magazine editor. And that's where I want to really focus our conversation now. So it's an interesting choice for a magazine title. Tell me, what does it mean and why that one?
It's a very easy way of expressing yourself. There isn't a day that goes by that someone doesn't say, is it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's just a nice, catchy word.
Yeah. And what are you hoping to achieve with Is It?
So the magazine was born out of the fact that I realized that the colored community does not get the necessary exposure that they deserve. The only exposure that they get is when they do wrong. When someone is murdered. I mean, there was so much media coverage when stuff happened in Westbury. For hours and minutes there was coverage. But if we have beautiful things happening in the community, there's no camera, there's no one to tell the story. So Is It is going to tell the positive stories. We make it very clear that it's a magazine that celebrates our heritage, our history, our identity, our culture, our future, who we really are. We're basically saying, South Africa, this is us.
We exist.
We exist, and we are not the has-baked, no teeth in front, drinking, drug addicts, and all those negative things that the media portrays us to be.
Fatima, are you finding that, and I'm going to ask a question that's very controversial, it might also be a little bit political, but are you finding that many people in the colored community are still slap bam in the middle? In the old days, under the apartheid regime, they were not white enough. Nowadays, they're not black enough. They in themselves are facing complexities of, are you more black than white, white than black? Is there just a whole lot more that's going on there that South Africans really just don't understand?
Yeah, that part is true, but I'm going to give you a controversial answer as well. I just feel that the colored people should stop being, placing themselves in that mold. They need to step up and position themselves much better, because you don't have to act according to what someone says about you. You should know yourself, know your identity, and know what you are all about. I get very irritated if someone says, yeah, colored people don't have identity, yeah, colored people don't have culture. I get even more irritated when colored people say it. Because what are you saying? We are not a group of people that does not have culture. We are then infused with a lot of cultures. But also remember that you are part of that group of people that was the indigenous or the First Nation people, and you come from them. It's fine, relax, just position yourself better. Get educated. Yeah. Go for causes that will teach you about entrepreneurship. Position yourself better. Yeah. Stop sitting at home and moaning and groaning and saying, yeah, they don't, South Africans, the black people don't like us, the white people don't like us. Get over it. That's how I feel.
And hopefully Is It Magazine is going to help get the job done.
Yes, Is It Magazine is going to maybe, like now, while people are watching me now, I know there's some of them, how can she say that? Yeah. I don't care. As long as my job or my mandate that I've given myself is to uplift and really draw the colored people out of that mentality of the government doesn't care about us. Every South African in this country must realize the government is not your daddy. Government is not your ex-husband that has to maintain you. You are supposed to do it yourself. There are certain things put in place for you to tap into and make the best out of it.
Sure. I don't know where you find the time, because on top of it all, you're also a parent to teenagers. So
you're talking about
I feel like
teenagers.
You need extra grace just for that. Tell me about that.
I'm a mother to 2 adult people.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, my son is 28 and my daughter is 21.
That's why you hardly look like you have an 18-year-old.
Thank you.
What?
Yes.
That's incredible.
My baby's 21 years old. Yes. My son he's got his own journey that he's walking at the moment. His sister, she, when she was small, she used to say, that's my man, that's my husband.
No.
And my daughter is also in this industry. I didn't coach her, I didn't nurture, I didn't, nudge her in the direction. She actually took a gap year to be certain that she really wants to do directing and filmmaking and so on. And she's doing her 2nd year this year. And next year she'll be doing a 3rd year. And I don't know, maybe she'll be working here with you guys.
Hello, I wouldn't mind that, especially seeing more females in the industry. I am so all for that.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more, though, about the challenges. You touched a little bit about your son's journey. As a mom, some of the biggest challenges that you face, where you think, I can actually understand why our community sometimes perpetuates these cycles. I'm experiencing some of those difficulties myself.
Yeah, but people will wonder, what is she talking about? My son has a drug problem, okay? And he's been in and out of either rehab or in prison for awaiting trial and so on and so on. And for a while, I didn't knowledge, you have to apply knowledge. Then I applied tough love. Yeah. And that is where I am at, applying tough love with my son, distance myself from, so that he can make his own decisions, how to get out. He is 28 years old. And what mothers, where we go wrong is we want to mother our children up until we can't mother anymore. And we are actually, cutting the wings of our children our children are supposed to make mistakes. We made mistakes.
They're supposed to learn.
Yeah, and learn from their mistakes. And it's kind of difficult sometimes because you have to switch over from doing all your activism and the magazine and then boom, you're a parent. You put on another hat and you have to love and give tough love as well.
And are you finding that helps or hinders the work that you do? So, for example, does it give you better context and more urge and more drive to do your work, or does it deplete you? What does it do for you?
It drives me. I remember a few years ago, I actually made a movie called Tweede Kanse, and the movie was about a mother and a son's journey. And I think it was the third or just the day before we wrapped, my son was arrested. And when I got the phone call, I switched from, there's the phone call, finish, right, now we focus on the movie. Because I couldn't let that, deter me or hamper me, because this is what I'm supposed to do. And the movie was actually dedicated to all the mothers that are going through that. This year I wrote a play called A Womb Outside My Body. Same thing, but this time it's another story of also a mother and her son. So I use those things therapeutically for me to just deal with all of this. But it absolutely pushes me even harder to get to my goalpost. All these so-called obstacles, I use them as stepping stones.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Fatima, we'll continue this conversation in just a moment.
Sure.
I mean, I think you would agree with me that Fatima is strength personified. We'll find out what next she wants to do. Stay with us. Hello again. So when you're in the media, you're in the community, you're also in the home, how and when do you find time to relax? And when you do relax, what do? We're joined by Tremaine, Fatima's daughter. She's going to come and spill the beans. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So you're already in the media. You followed after your mom's footsteps. You're studying. So you're very familiar with how all of this works there. Thank you so much for agreeing to chat to us.
So what we do in our free time is we sleep.
Yeah, look.
Didn't
relate. Yeah.
That's basically what we do.
You're a napper.
Yeah.
How long are your naps?
Hers is longer than mine.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
How long is long?
Like I can sleep till like 12.
Really?
Or 2, depending on what time I got home the previous night.
Okay.
Yeah, but we usually sleep. Wake up, eat, sleep again. Sometimes she'd get up and read a book or something. But I just continue sleeping.
That's what weekends are for. I mean, I'd agree with you 100%.
Our schedules are so dear mekaar because she's also, she's in post-editing sometimes, and then she gets home at 1 in the morning. I have to open the door. So my sleep is also, a bit disrupted. So when we sleep, we sleep.
So does Mom ever star in any of the work that you do?
She actually did.
You direct her?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this past week, I shot my film and I needed a mom actress. And at my school, there's no moms there. There's just students. So I was like, Mama.
Here's your moment to shine.
And I asked her I think 6 hours before the shoot, because we finished the script the night before because I had to change a couple of things. And yeah, I asked her and then she actually listened to me.
Yeah.
She was a good actress.
You got to boss your mom around. Yeah. Very few people can say that.
Yes, it was quite interesting because usually she's the one that bosses me around.
Yes, I know.
So this time I was like, can you just do that again for me?
You're like, cut, take it from the top.
Yes.
And what was that like? I'm sure it must have been such a proud moment.
It was so cute.
Oh, Nana, look at you.
Yeah, that's why I did everything she said I must do, because I respect and honor her directorship, because there she's my director and I'm the actress. She's not my daughter, and I have to listen and do what she says, hoping that she will return the favor.
When
but
you
usually
get home,
she does.
When you
she
say,
does.
I want that cup of tea, and that's an order.
Yeah, that's the mother talking about.
Yes.
Something else that I love that you guys do, which is a little bit strange, the tattoos. Tell me about the tattoos.
So my mom was always, I always wanted a tattoo, and my mom was like, no, the day you get a tattoo is the day you move out of my house,
Yeah.
Typical mom.
So this one day, one of her friends is a tattoo artist, and he came to our house to drop off his gear just to go somewhere else. And when he came back, he was like, let me give you a free tattoo. So I was like, okay. So My mom agreed because it was for free.
Okay.
So
I like it.
so I got mine, and then afterwards he's like, let me get you one, because she has like a
scar.
Yeah.
So you have a bird.
I have a bird.
What does it
I don't know
symbolize?
what bird it is. It can be a swallow, it can be a
Yeah.
sparrow, I don't know. But it means freedom. It means, you know, just fly, just go.
And yours is a?
Mine is a
It's over the
rose.
shoulder. I don't know if you can like turn a little bit because I can't see that. There we go. Are we able to get? And plus you're wearing your top, so we can't see. But
Yeah.
it's a rose.
Yes.
Okay.
With a bow. So my name means a rose in the middle of a forest. So I got the rose, yes.
I love it.
You know the meaning of your name? Yeah.
Surprises right here on Visionaries. Exclusive breaking news. I love it. So tell me a little bit also about the kind of movies that you enjoy. I mean, do you ever sit down and vegetate and watch movies? And are you able to relax and watch a movie? Or are you working and you'll be like, that camera angle, I just don't like that shot.
Yeah, that's what happens now. So my mom is more into action movies. She always says I want scorpion donor.
Yeah. It's flying, blood flowing.
I'm more for the love, like the romantic movies and the
too.
comedies. Like I just want to relax. So, but usually when she's watching with me, we watch action.
And we do direct. We go, there's a boom shop.
Yeah.
That wasn't right.
No continuity. Did you see that? Yeah.
And we would pause. Tremaine, look at those nails. Look at that actress's nails.
Yeah.
I watch stuff like that. It's so boring. But sometimes I just really relax and watch the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And tell me a little bit more about your relationship with your daughter and why you brought her with today and why it's important.
As a mother, I'm so honored to have her as my daughter. I think when she was born, God actually said, okay, now I'm going to teach her how to be a mother. Because I think it's easier to be a mother to a boy. You know, I always say, boys, you feed them and you let them go play.
Rough and tumble.
Yeah, but with a girl, they want your attention and you must be more sensitive. She always used to, when she talks to me, she'll go, Mommy, look at me, I'm talking to you. So stuff like that, the finer life skills is because I was a mother to a boy for 7 years. So I only knew how to be a tough mommy. And here she comes and she made me more sensitive and really tapped into my motherhood. We do differ sometimes, but the way she handles it teaches me that I should also be very proper when I don't agree. But there are times when we are really like working on each other's nerves.
Oh no, of course.
But it's fine.
Of course.
And we get over it and just now we eat ice cream together.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's the most annoying thing about your mom? Was that us? Spill the beans.
OCD, definitely. And I think I ruined that for because I always like, my stuff is like
Yes.
everywhere.
Oh, goodness.
I go into another zone when I see
You're
what's
like, Father,
happening.
give me strength.
Oh, Lord. Please ask me what annoys me about her.
What annoys you about her?
Time management does not exist. She lives in another time zone where there's a lot of time. And
She
I'm like,
lives under African time.
Oh, no,
It's African time, Mom. Talking about African time, what are you doing with your time at the moment professionally, and what do you hope to achieve going forward?
Well, at the moment, it's all about the magazine. There's social media, so we are preparing our social media presence as well. You know, all the Instagram, Facebook, blah blah blah, and also getting the magazine going online. And the dynamics are different. Online, it's more visual, it's more video clips. So we're busy producing that as well, and also getting the articles, sending it to the editor, getting it back, giving it to the graphic designer to actually do her job. And so I'm like doing all of that. And then, I'm here to support my daughter. I'm so glad she'll be done with school within the next year. Then she's got to go work.
Yes.
Or work for herself or start her own
course.
business.
Of course.
Yeah.
I wish both of you the very best going forward.
you.
Thank you very much for joining us. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and I trust that you've also enjoyed the conversation. So let's do it again, same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.
If you know exactly why you are on earth and you know exactly what your mandate is, remove the words cannot, because there is no such thing as you cannot. You will find a way to do whatever it is that you have to do and just do it to the best of your ability. You are not here for yourself, but you are here for your fellow human beings.